Person, place, or thing, hosted by Melissa Peterman, challenges its contestants to ask just the right question. And we have a recent contestant from the show with us this morning on Hometown Living. Chris, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Jackie. I'm excited to be here. And shout out to the 574 and everybody in South Bend.
And shout out to us right here, Chris. Well, talk a little bit about this style of show. You know, you're challenged to ask just the right questions, but also figure out the answer. What's the format of the game show?
So, the show it's basically like a new version of 20 questions where you have to ask closed-ended questions. So that's just yes or no questions in order to, number one, find out what person they're referring to, right? What the place is and what the thing is. So essentially they'll say in this round we're going to be guessing a person, and so you're just supposed to ask those yes or no questions, and then you'll get one clue. Then once the three contestants actually guess, they'll go into a section or whatever where it's like a few rapid fire clues, and then if you take a guess, you are essentially out for that round until they go back into a new section. Then from there they do the same thing with place, and then they do that with thing, and then they have a lightning round where they'll sort of just read random clues about people, and then you don't have to wait in turn. You just pick up your buzzer, and then you say, hey, this is what do you call it? You pick up your buzzer, and then you do the guess.
Lightning round, we love that, but in some of the footage that I'm sure we're going to see, you were right out of the gate. You had that first person down. I mean, did you have to do any prep work before you came on the show? Are you just a trivia whiz? What did it look like when you signed up for this to be able to know just the right question or answer, Chris?
No, I think the biggest thing, I've won a few bar trivias, but I think it's a bit different format, and in those they give you I think the questions might be a little bit harder, I'd venture to guess. And the questions are a lot longer in the bar trivia. In order to prep for this, it was really odd because this is a brand new show. And I don't think I was ever the kind of person that did the 20 questions. Even if I'm on a date, I don't even know if I do the 20 questions. So it was kind of hard to prep, and some of the other contestants and I had talked about that because you are essentially you're inventing something from scratch, if you will, right, per se. So I honestly did not prep until the that actual day of shooting. We did a few practice rounds basically with a few different 3 different individuals, and that was all the prep I had. And it was really just coming down to if you watch the show, they list off on the side or whatever what the various clues might be, that things in terms of, hey, this other person guessed this and it was indicated that it wasn't this, right, or it is this. Just looking at that really helped out with being able to get a guess in.
You really have to think on your feet, but somebody that makes the experience just so much fun for the contestants is Melissa. What was it like working with her throughout the process? She really had such a good rapport, even with you, jokes back and forth from the get-go. What was just that experience working with the host?
Oh, Melissa was awesome. Just right off the bat, she did everything she could to ingratiate herself. Let us know, number one, to not be nervous. I think this is probably my first time that I had been, definitely my first time on a game show. And I think probably I'd been on one other show 5 or 10 years prior, which wasn't a game show. So being in front of a national audience airing in a few different markets, right, wasn't something that any of us were too accustomed to. So she did everything she could to put us at ease, and was absolutely friendly. So what you see actually when she's appearing on the show, she's just like that off screen. So it was awesome. And look, I used to watch Reba back in the day, and so it was on the CW or the WB at the time, and so I had been pretty familiar with her, and I know she was in what's the movie, Here Comes the Boom. So I've always long liked her work, and she was just as charismatic and personable as you'd expect.
That is incredible to hear. Well, you made it all the way to the final round, Chris. What kind of happened? What did you walked away with some prizes? We were kind of getting the recap beforehand of, maybe things you would have done differently, but you made it all the way to the end of your episode. What was that like?
No, it was great. I was actually nervous that I was going to lose because at the end of right before the lightning round, when the lightning round started, actually, not before the lightning round, but when the lightning round had started, it did not look like I was going to fare that well as the person, like my fellow contestant in the middle started to rattle off a few, and I go, okay, I am about to be in last place, and so I said no. So I think I went on a streak of, I think, got 4 straight, and that completely eclipsed everybody else. It was essentially my Michael Jordan moment. Sorry to any of the people in Indiana if you're Pacers fans and you still are haunted by Jordan. But it was my chance to really come back in the clutch and make sure I got to the last round. And then speaking of that last round, I think that one of the biggest things that I would do differently, I wasted like some valuable seconds at the very start of it where I don't know, when she was telling me the rules, I don't think I listened that well. So like 5 seconds elapsed, and I was having trouble guessing the person, and then I skipped like just for a time standpoint. I skipped so I can see if I can find out what the place were and what the thing were, and then I can come back. Then I just completely ran out of time, and I somehow, like, the clue like seems so easy now, but
it always does in hindsight, Chris. It's always going back and trying to figure out how you could have done better. But we want to make sure that people can catch the episode over on YouTube, or also follow along Person, Place, or Thing on their Instagram, Person, Place, or Thing TV. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jackie.